Wagwan everyone, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another video, another stream up on here. If you are new to this, because this is first time streaming on my Facebook page, let's make sure I get nice and central for the Facebook viewers, for the brand new ones. If you are on YouTube and you are watching this, I've created a new Facebook page. It's called Tariq Talks, the exact same as my YouTube. And for those of you watching on Facebook, let me know. Because it's going to be interesting to hear from you guys. Let me know. Just give me a quick hello if you can hear me, if everything sounds great. Speaking of hellos, just giving you a quick hello, Grace. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good Tuesday so far. First day after bank holiday in the UK for those people. And it's never easy. It's never easy going back to normal life. Everyone, it depends in, well, if you're at school, then you won't be have gone to school yet. But if you're at work, you know, you're getting back to work. But so I thought, why not? Let's do a transfer deadline day stream. Let's get my opinions on what's happened today. You know what? I'll keep transfer deadline day is one of my favorite days of the year for a football fan. It just kind of shows that how sad I am. Giving a big hello to Dawn Pearson. Nice to see you, Dawn. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, as a football fan, it's quite sad, but I really do enjoy transfer deadline day, even though throughout most of the time, transfer deadline day does happen. Nothing really happens for my club, which is Arsenal. I'm wearing the shirt underneath this. It's a bit cold, so it's been a bit chilly today, so I thought, why not just chuck on a jumper? But I thought, let's do it. Let's go through the big transfers, the big rumours. If anything breaks whilst we're here, then we get to all share it together. I want to hear your opinions as well of what your club's been, how your club's been in today, what transfers have they made or what transfers have fallen through. And then also just want to hear your opinions on your club's transfer window as a whole. Are you happy? Would you rate it? Want to hear your ratings out of 10, etc. So yes. If you're a Chelsea fan, you will be happy, like Grace. If you're an Arsenal fan, yeah, depends on what side of the fence you sit on. But yes, let me get straight into this. And I will start off with the rounding up the major deals that has happened today. So let me share my screen with you first, people. Here we go. Let me get it on the big screen for you and zoom right in so that you can see. So first of all, as you can see, Eduardo Camavinga. Let me bring myself back here as well. Maybe get that background out. Sorry. Technical difficulties here. It should be all right. I should get this all sorted soon. There we go. So as we can see, the top deal of the day, the one that's the most expensive that's happened so far, Eduardo Camavinga, who has joined Real Madrid from Stade Rennais, the 18-year-old who's also a French international. Yeah, I know, which is quite good. And you know how highly rated he must be to be making it into that French team, that stats midfield. Has joined Real Madrid for 27.9 million. So let's round that up to 28 million. Who had a lot of interest. He garnered a lot of interest this summer from the likes of Arsenal, had a little link in there. Don't think we was ever seriously linked with him properly like that. But the main links were PSG and Manchester United. And it looks like he held out for Real Madrid all the way to the last day. He had 1 year remaining on his contract as well. But given that he's 18 and I don't think the Bosman rule, which allows you to move for free and no compensation being paid, Real Madrid would have had to pay something to Stade Rennais because of his age. But instead, they've just decided, let's just pay the money and get him in now. Nicola Vlasic, who's a former Everton player, for those who may have watched him in the Premier League, scored a couple of goals in the Europa League. I'm not sure if he did score any for Everton in the Premier League, has joined West Ham. So that looks like Jesse Lingard won't be joining the Hammers again after a successful loan spell, as he does take that attacking midfield position, as you see there. Dan James joining Leeds from Manchester United, eventually joining Leeds after he was meant to be joining them in the winter before, in not January, was it that 2 Januaries ago now, when Leeds were getting promoted in the Championship. If any of you watched the Leeds documentary, you may have known that. But now he has gotten to Leeds in the end. Leeds remain their interest and were willing to pay over 25 million for him, so over 26 as well. I think there's add-ons that included that round it up to around about over 30, like 28, nearly like 28 million. So yeah, I'll talk more about that transfer, my opinions on that later on. I'm sure you'll see something about it. Emerson Royal, who has joined Spurs from Barcelona, so Spurs do have a new right back after the unsuccessful period for Matt Doherty, who I've not seen any rumours about him leaving yet. Marc Cucurella, who also has a link with Barcelona as he came through the Barcelona academy, has joined Brighton for 16.2 million. Another link to Barcelona, Eli, I think that's how you pronounce it, Mariba, who's another 18-year-old, highly rated, played quite a few games for the Barcelona first team, has joined RB Leipzig for 14.4 million. Cristiano Ronaldo, which we already knew was happening, but it's just been confirmed today. And it's even cheaper because it's 15 million euros, but that is in pounds, 13.5 million pounds. Wow. And those are the main ones of today, really. To include minors, if you may have heard of him, this is quite for the real niche. Well, some of you may have heard of him. Your hardcore football fans would have heard of these types of players. Yassin Adli, Moise Kean, who's left Everton to go back to Juventus, go back to Italy. And yes, those are the major deals that have happened so far. So what is the next one? Okay, so the next part is here, in my opinion. Let me get this off the screen right now. Bring myself back so you get this big head. Nice and seeing you. But before I go into that, let me just say, hey, Kez, I hope you're doing well, sis. Grace, what do you say? I don't think Arsenal's transfer window was very good. Yes, we have spent the most money, Grace, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately, I've been calling for Arsenal to spend the most money in how many transfer windows now. And we have spent it. There's a lot of complaining from the Arsenal fans, not thinking that we've really strengthened our squad or strengthened the first 11 even, shall I say, because a lot of people do think, yeah, we've got a lot of backup players, but I don't see much improvement in the first 11. We spent 50 million on Ben White. Is he an upgrade from David Luiz? Probably not right now. He's probably of the same level at best, but I don't think so. But yes, and we've also signed Aaron Ramsdale, who could potentially be a backup to Leno this season. So we spent 80 million on them. We spent like nearly coming up to 30 million on Ramsdale altogether and 50 million on Ben White. We've also signed Lokonga, who's a squad player who doesn't come straight into the first team. Erdegaard, who we signed for 30 mil. That was a good deal, but it does seem like that for Arsenal fans, it's not very exciting for them as they've already seen him play this season. So, I mean, last season, he was on loan. He came from on loan in January. Yeah, sorry. Long day. Heads getting a bit frazzled. But yes, and then who else did we sign? We've signed that. Well, there's links to us to going in that Tomiyasu, who that looks to almost be done. Who was meant to be going Spurs earlier on in the window, but ended up staying. What else did you say here? I'm not very happy Kurt Zouma went to West Ham. That's a good shout because I was speaking to AJ RTM, who joined on the Chelsea watch along. He was the Chelsea fan. He likes Kurt Zouma and he rated him quite a lot. And the fact that you haven't signed that Jules Koundé, who you was linked with from Sevilla, it looks kind of disappointing now, and you are lacking a bit in that defensive position, but you've also signed, and it is confirmed as well. Fabrizio Romano gave the here we go for Saul Niguez. So does that kind of balance it out for you? What would you want it to sell, Kurt Zouma? Would you want him more money? Let me know, Grace. But yes, into our next part of the video, and that kind of easily slides in. And my deal of the day is, in fact, Saul Niguez. Let me go on to Twitter right here and I'll share the screen with you in just give me one moment. Here we go. And it is to do with this man, Saul Niguez, who I was just talking about. Fabrizio Romano gave the here we go. Saul to Chelsea. Agreement reached for 5 million loan from Atletico Madrid, which is one of the reasons why I think it's my deal of the day. The fact that you've got this guy, a player of this caliber, a Spanish international, a league title winner with Atletico Madrid, bringing him on a loan where you're not having to shell out the money straight away. I think that it might end up being a loan with the obligation to buy, but if it's a loan with an option, it just makes it even better. Even with a loan with the obligation, you could see how he is, how he settles, how he adapts in this country. And if you was forced to buy him, you could then eventually try and sell him for maybe make a profit or break even. You know how Chelsea do. Somehow they do it. But final details on the deal will be announced. Difficult deal, but finally set to be completed. So there was a lot of rumours about this as Saul, as Atletico Madrid were looking to send him out on loan this season, but they did find it pretty difficult to get suitors who Saul wanted to join. That was a Champions League club, so Arsenal had no chance in getting him. I wish we could. It's a very good signing for me. He scores goals. He can break up play quite well. So yeah, I think for a Chelsea fan, you will be happy, and those who are Chelsea fans, that is the deal of the day for me. So yeah, a player of his caliber as well for such little money. You're paying 5 million for the loan, 5 million euros. So that's what, about £3 million. Even better. Let me bring myself back here. So before I go to the next part, I've never really seen him play, so I don't know if he's up to Zuma's standard. Okay, is that to do with Koundé? Yeah, he's a young player as well. Zuma's a bit more experienced. He's obviously been on loan quite a few times. He's older. But with Koundé, he's a 5'11" centre-back, so he's not as aerially dominating as you would get with Kurt Zouma. Oh, I've just had some... I thought I had some breaking news for you. My apologies. So yeah, he's not as dominating in the air. He's quite a short centre-back, but he's better on the ball than Zouma. Do you think that Chelsea quite needed that? I think that your best defender on the ball is actually Andreas Christensen. And Thiago Silva's quite good. Rudiger's good, but this one really allows you to break forward. He's very good on the ball. He's quick. He's athletic. Sort of like a Zouma. I mean, not a Zouma. Zuma's quite athletic as well, but I was meant to say Antonio Rudiger. So you get that more of that style, combative, aggressive type of defender. So that's what you like. And I guess that's what you like about Zouma, because defensively he was brilliant for Chelsea, but it was more to do with the on-the-ball stuff. That was really his problem. Hi, Tish. Hope you're doing well. See you watching from Facebook there. Nice to see you on Facebook, sis. So, yes. So that is my deal of the day. I'm going to move on to the next part now, which is, you're going to see deal of the day again, but there's the important part, the question mark. So this is my questionable deal of the day. The deal that I was like, does it really make sense? I'm not too sure. I can see, there's been a lot of talk around this deal, but is it as good as people seem to make out? So I'm going to get it up. I think, shall I go on Twitter and do it? Nah, let's bring it up on Transfermarkt. I'm about to show you right now, and that is this deal right here. Daniel James, who has joined Leeds United from Manchester United, whose agent is with Stellar Sports. That's interesting to see. So yes, he's joined for 26.9 million. So that's was that 26.9 million? Am I right? Yes, it is. Well, 26.19, but there's add-ons in there. For me, the reason why that is a questionable deal, Daniel James, what we've seen from him at Manchester United is, and we know Leeds were interested in before, but what we've seen from him when he's come to the Premier League at Manchester United is he does have the raw speed, the raw, he works hard. He has that aggressive style of pressing. He can defend very well as a winger. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has played him, he has played him in those big games where he will cause more of a threat on the counter-attack, where he will defend and trap back and, really help defensively. But going forward, that's where his big question mark is, just like this deal. He's not as good. His decision-making's poor for me. It's below the level that Manchester United required, even in the Premier League. If you think of someone like an Adama Traore, his decision-making's a lot better, but it's just more to do with his finishing. Daniel James is very rash in that last third. So we all knew he was, and many Man United fans agreed that he wasn't good enough for Manchester United, unfortunately, and especially seeing what happened with the transfer window, bringing in the likes of Sancho, Ronaldo now. Sancho really moves Daniel James out of that position, out of the wide area. Let me bring myself back here. Sancho really moves him out and makes him even lower down the pecking order. Then you got Greenwood who can play out wide. You got Rashford still to come back. Martial, who could end up playing out wide, who may not be leaving. Well, we'll wait and see. I think it's the English transfer window that closes today. at a certain time, at 11 o'clock, actually, that's when it closes. But other transfer windows tend to shut later or on a later date. I don't know why I know the Turkish one, but that doesn't close until next week. Oh, yeah, because I saw a link with Mohamed El Neni, hoping and praying that he does end up leaving. But if he does leave now, then we'll be in massive trouble. So I can't really say that. But yeah, back to Daniel James. And now that he's joining Leeds back in the Premier League, whereas Leeds have the likes of Rafinha on the right, Harrison, they've got young players. They brought in Amari Miller from Birmingham, who's probably going to look to be playing in the reserves for this season. But they've got Ian Poveda. They've got quite a few wingers there. And Dan James, yes, he does help that depth, but at the price that they've paid, I think they paid more than for Dan James than they did for Rafinha, actually. Let me search that out. Actually, it's an interesting thing to look at, actually. How much did Leeds pay for Rafinha? I'm going to share the screen so you guys can have a look at this with me. If any of you know, just let me know before I see. But okay, so that's his value, 27 million market value. So he's 10 million more. So he's 11 million more, sorry. And Leeds paid 16. Okay, so they've paid minimum 10 million less for Rafinha, who is a much better player, has much more of an influence on the league squad. But thank you to, there we go, Poveda has gone to Blackburn on loan. Thank you for letting me know that, Ian. Appreciate that. That makes more sense now, as they are missing, as they did need to recruit someone for that position. And now seeing that that's happened, thank you for letting me know about that. I don't think he was quite ready anyway for the Leeds first team. And, and they have brought someone who is more readily made, and especially knowing that. Thank you, Ian. Appreciate that. So, yeah, that is interesting to see. And, okay, that maybe brings the deal up in my estimations a bit more. I still think it's questionable. We've still got to see how he will have that impact at Leeds. Will he get straight into the first team with those type of prices that Leeds are paying? You expect that to happen. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. You've seen a lot of people talking about Marcelo Bielsa, being a big admirer of him and how he's improved a lot of players, and which he has with the likes of Luke Ayling, who got released from Arsenal, was signed from Yeovil. He played at Yeovil, and you got the likes of Stuart Dallas, Calvin Phillips, who accredits Marcelo Bielsa for him getting into the England team. He was at Leeds on loan before. Who was that? Pervade. Oh, okay, then. It was that Daniel James. Was he on loan? Sorry. Let me know what that is, Ian. Sorry, I've got a bit lost there. But yeah, it's interesting to see those types of players come in. But yes, Man United made 10 million profit somehow. I think it was, 10 million profit. Oh, yes, Dan James. Okay, thank you. So yeah, for Dan James, and for Manchester United, that is a very good deal. And for Dan James, I think it is. He'll get more game time. But for Leeds, that's my question. That's why I think it's the questionable deal of the day. But as you brought up there, Ian, the £10 million profit, wow, they have done really well on that one. And then there's add-ons included as well, so that could reach up to 15. Brilliant bit of business for Manchester United and Dan James. Leeds, a bit more questionable. Ian, let me know what you think, how Dan James will do. And anyone else watching, let me know in the comments below if you're watching afterwards, how you think he will do here. So that's my questionable deal of the day. For me, the panic buy of the day, which is yet to be confirmed, which I'm also going to share on the screen, and it has something to do with my club. And the reason why I say this, and I'm going to bring his picture up right here, and that is Tomiyasu. Let me get that name right. Takehiro Tomiyasu. So as we see from Fabrizio Romano here, let me click on this tweet. Paperwork's completed between Arsenal and Bologna for Takehiro Tomiyasu. Edu Gaspar so fast to jump in the deal and close the agreement with the player and club. Here we go, confirmed. Medical during the afternoon, and which he has completed that medical, by the way. So we've signed a 22-year-old Japanese international in Takehiro Tomiyasu. For me, I'm not too sure on if that was the right deal. We do need a right back. For sure, definitely, and he's a centre back who can also play at right back. I've not seen much of him myself, so I can't give you an in-depth and breakdown. This is his qualities. I'm still yet to see, But this may be the panic deal of the day for me. Arsenal, after that 5-0 defeat to Manchester City, I felt like this is one way of trying to get it back with the fans. The release of Willian, who opened up 20 million, and you guessed it, this cost Arsenal 20 million pounds. So maybe the freed up money from Willian was able to make this deal. Who knows? We'll wait and see. But as an Arsenal fan, I'm not going to pin too many hopes on these types of players. And, you know, these types of deals, we've made a lot of them this summer and this transfer window, which raises our spending up to 150 million, which is, whereas I know in the Premier League, we've spent the most money. So yes, let me get back into the comments and bring myself back here. So that is my panic buy of the day. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think is your deal of the day, your questionable deal of the day, and what is, this one looks like a panic buy. Know-how, still needed a CDM massively. For Manchester United, I don't know how you've made these sort of level of signings, but then you just needed that CDM after we saw Fred's performance against Wolves. Yeah. And he's not just his performance against Wolves, his performance against Southampton as well, which cost you guys the game. Yeah, he will. And that midfield will continue to cause and concede a lot more goals and lose you a lot more points, whereas midfields, they dominate the game. Man United's play, how they're not able to dominate teams apart from Leeds, which play into Man United's hands, to be fair. Man United aren't going to dominate teams with the likes of Fred in midfield, Fred, Matic, McTominay. There's plenty of Premier League. I think they are a mid-table. That midfield, Fred, whether it's Fred and McTominay or Matic, McTominay, is a mid-table midfield. Ollie doesn't really seem to like playing Pogba there, and when he does play Pogba there, he gets him to really sit back deep and takes away from his attacking qualities. And when you're doing that to Pogba, I think that makes it an average midfield, because that is not the best aspects to Pogba's game. Yes, he can do that. Yes, he's very good and he's a very balanced all-round player. But when you take in those attacking aspects out of his game, where you're trying to get him to progress the ball from deep because Fred can't, and getting him to do a lot more defensive actions, you're not getting the best out of Pogba, in my opinion. They play on the counter-attack, might work for that reason. That's to do with Dan James. Yeah, that could definitely work. And with Dan James's speed on the counter-attack, as we saw for Manchester United on his debut, scoring that goal against Chelsea, and Ollie obviously trusting him in those big games, it could definitely work with Leeds. Especially when they're playing against the bigger teams, with the likes of Rafinha providing assists and providing ammunition to Dan James's runs into the box. And if Dan James can link up with Patrick Bamford, who's a good finisher and a good Premier League striker, you know, it could cause some danger. So I do see that point there, Ian. Thank you for joining here anyway. United, that is. Arsenal always buy players with one eye on making a profit. Japanese fan base and profit. Exactly. This, in terms of the marketing aspect, go smashed it. Good. You'll probably make that back with the Japanese football fans with shirt sales. Is he the only Japanese player in the Premier League at the moment? I think he is. So yes, I think I'm going to go with that. So currently the only Japanese player in the Premier League in the first team, unless somebody can point it out quickly that, I'm completely missing X, Y, Z. Let me know. But yeah, so that exactly making a profit on this one. I think that's what this summer has done. What Arsenal have really tried to do is make a profit on these transfer deals if they don't work out. Whereas Arsenal have made a lot of risky signings with the likes of Partey, which for me, that's a brilliant signing. But in terms of that one has to hit. And we've seen we've been burnt a lot of times with the deals that we've made. Willian losing money on that. Partey, who has been injury prone, but he's quality. But as I've tried to discuss this with many Arsenal fans, you can only whether truly know if a transfer deal is good after, give it until the end of their time at the club. That's when you can really judge. Yes, it's just a ploy to get fans internationally. Exactly, and you said spot on with that. Man, you should just offer Lingard plus cash for Rice. That would be brilliant. How much do you think that it would cost for Lingard plus cash? How much cash would you have to pay? Because West Ham, they want 80 to 100 million. I think that they would probably lean onto the 100 million side. So, and Lingard, you're valuing him at about 30, so maybe 50 million plus. Lingard should sweeten it, and you shouldn't really have to go to like 60, 70. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking. So 50 million plus Lingard. Would West Ham accept that? They wouldn't accept that now at this part of the window where they can't replace him. But yeah, those are those clever sort of deals that, you know, that we don't see Manchester United make with their board, unfortunately. I'd have liked anyone. Doesn't need to be Rice. I'd like Rice to get his dream move. Yeah, exactly. With Rice, he really wants to go back to Chelsea. That seems to be his priority. But he's open to a move to Manchester United. Of course, he wouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? What footballer wouldn't be open to join Manchester United if they're interested, especially now they're in the Champions League? So yeah, with Declan Rice, it looks like he probably will have one more season. He may have a contract. If you see he gets like a new contract after the window closes, then it could be something similar towards Jack Grealish. Whereas if West Ham don't make the Champions League, but a club who is a Champions League club that wants to pay this X amount, they have to agree and they'll have to sell him and move him forward. There have been tons of options. Yes, there has been. You've got the likes of Bissouma, Ndidi, Camavinga, who is one of them. Those are the ones I can think that spring to mind. Have we seen many CDMs move in this transfer window who that you would have liked to see? Bissouma is one of them who could have done a good job. I think even Bissouma and Pogba would have worked well together. He can be a bit more defensive. I know he's a bit more of a box-to-box in his game, but you can play with 2 8s in that position and have one who's more defensive and then one like Pogba who's more attacking and progressive. Is Bellerin staying for the Ars? Let's have a look at this one, actually. There was some news on Hector Bellerin that he was meant to be joining Real Betis on loan. So let me type this in on Twitter and see if there's anything that has been announced. So let me share my screen with you here. I don't know how credible this is, but a footballer with social conscience, etc. Wishing him all the best. 8 hours ago, Arsenal right back Hector Bellerin to have a medical in Seville ahead of the move to Real Betis. So for Real Betis, that's a perfect replacement for the Emerson who they sold earlier on in the window. Real Betis, I'll tell you a quick, nice, interesting story that I never knew with Bellerin and Real Betis. His dad is actually a massive Real Betis fan, so it's kind of more sentimental reasons why he's going there. He gets to move back to Spain as well, and he's on loan, which is a shame for Arsenal fans because we need the money and we need the transfer, and it is time for Bellerin to move on. And I wish that it would be a permanent. But with the wages involved, I don't think that Real Betis could afford that, given how the pandemic has affected these clubs in La Liga, as we've seen with Barcelona and Real Madrid. So that is the news on Hector Bellerin. He looks like he's heading to Real Betis. 40 million cash and Lings max. Yeah, and now the question is, would West Ham accepted that? Well, it's not going to happen now, given the fact that they signed Nicola Vlasic, who is their new signing in attacking midfield, who has Premier League experience. And I don't think he played that many games for Everton. We can have a look, actually. We'll have a look whilst we're here. But before I go for that, Chouameni, yes, he's the central defensive midfielder who's at Monaco, another French under-21 international, very highly rated, much more of a 6, someone who's more defensive and will sit there, who's not as box-to-box. The lad from Marseille, I think you're on about Pape Gueye, that's the one, the left-footed one, tall midfielder, plays next to Guendouzi, or you're on about Kamara, Boubacar Kamara. Let me know what that is. Hasn't Emerson gone to Spurs? Barca just bought him. Yes, Emerson has gone to Spurs. I'll tell you some news with that one with Barca. When Barcelona bought him, it was when Emerson moved from Brazil to Real Betis, it was in La Liga. This can get quite confusing, so I'm going to try and break it down as easy as I can. When players move from Real Betis and from Brazil into the Spanish league, Barcelona had rights to it, so they helped fund Real Betis to buy him. And then 2 years after 2 years into his contract, Barcelona had an 8 million buyout clause. Given that, so basically, it's like Barcelona gave him a loan. We helped buy him, and then in 2 years, you play him, you develop him for us, and then we'll decide whether to buy him for 8 million or not. Barcelona decides to take that option. But I think it was mainly so that they could make profit on that transfer. They didn't need a right back. They've got Serginho Dest. Sergio Roberto, is he still there? Sergio Roberto, I think he is. But it was more to do with like the necessities, like, oh, we can make some money, we need to make some money, so we can buy him and then shift him on, and that's what's happened. So yes, Emerson, let me just have a look. It has been confirmed, Emerson Royal. Let me get this shared on the screen for you as well on Twitter. Fabrizio Romano reported it. That's from 16 hours ago. I'm sure he said something a lot sooner and more recent about the Emerson Royal deal. Apologies. Let me just get down there quick enough if I can find. Here it is. Here's the tweet. Official and confirmed. Emerson Royal joins Tottenham from Barcelona on a permanent move for 25 million euros as final fee, contract until 2026. So yes, they have made a nice bit of profit on that one there, Barcelona. So that was the main reason why they bought him. He played a couple of games as well for them. But as Ian said there, Barca need to shift players on high wages. And that is what they have done. They've been able to do it. They've made some profit with that one as well. I think Lingard, whoever that is, Lingard vetoed any move. Okay, because Lingard, he did want to stay at Manchester United. I don't see why. Where do you see him fit in, Manchester United fans? Know how I know you support United. Do you see him getting many games in the United team with the stat squad that you do now have? Where will he play? Can't see him getting in that cam position. You know, Van der Beek can't even get there. So how has Lingard got any chance? Is he going to play on the right? Play on the left? I know he got brought on ahead of Van der Beek in the Southampton game, which was beyond me, because I think Van der Beek is better than Lingard. He's younger as well. You paid 40 million for him, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't really seem to rate him. Yes, my bro Samson, thank you for joining, man. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. I need to see you back at the gym. I haven't been back at the gym. So yeah, Kamara, that's who you're on about. They have quite a few CDMs, Marseille do, and Kamara is a very good one. I've watched quite a bit of Marseille this season, as the season's just started. I have watched quite a few of their games. I watched their one against Nice, where the brawl happened. I watched their last game against Saint-Etienne. And then what was the other one that I watched? It was the first game of the season. I can't quite remember who they played. But I do rate that Kamara. And that Pape Gueye as well. Trust me, he's a baller. I think he might be cheaper than Kamara. Kamara was linked to Newcastle for 14 million. I think that 14 million Newcastle put in for him. Didn't get him in the end, though. Shearer, nice to see you, bro. Thank you for joining. What you think about the news talking about Laka and Ødegaard in the changing rooms? Oh, what's this? Let me have a look at this. If you can enlighten me on that, please, Shearer. I'm gonna have a look at this. Let's have a look at Twitter. Lacazette Ødegaard. Okay. Let me bring this up. This is breaking. What? Oh, okay. I'm not sure if I can share this. Okay. So they're moving a bit mad. Okay. Hey, I've just seen her Twitter. Sorry, I don't think I can share it. I'll chat about. I'll have a look at that one later. Thanks for bringing that up, though, bro. I appreciate that. I think Busquets and one other have taken. Yes, Busquets and Jordi Alba have taken pay cuts so that Aguero can be registered. For me, that they have they already are Barcelona legends, but when we've seen the likes of PK who have taken pay cuts, let me get this off my screen for a second. I just got to see Wiley there on my Twitter, but yes, the likes of PK has taken a massive pay cut. Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba, they've got to have statues for what they've done, for how they have helped the club. If this does eventually help the club, to let someone like Aguero, who's not played a game yet, who's just signed, taken big pay cuts so that he can be registered. You got to give massive applause to those. And those three players, PK, Busquets, and Jordi Alba, I rated you all anyway. I know some people think that Busquets is overrated beyond belief. He's one of the best sixes to ever play the game, in my opinion. If you think differently, let me know. We've got Fadsley coming in. Thank you for joining, bro. If Arsenal keep their players, I'm pretty sure they can make top 6 next season. Means at least they have a chance in the playoffs to get immediate promo. Oh, Fadsley, that I love that one. That's good. You caught me off guard there. I was thinking, what, top 6? We need to get out of relegation at the moment. But there you go. You've caught me on the sly. Yeah. promotion back to the Premier League. You are right. If we do keep our players, Lacker's not going to be here next season, which is why he's moving mad, I guess, in the changing room. But I need to see what I go on there. I need to see. But yes, I like that one, Fadsley. Hope you're doing well. What team do you support, Fadsley? Please let me know. Know how I don't see him getting many games, but when he does play, he'll be okay. It's jobs for the boys. Yes, I do agree with you. He just needs to stay fit, Sergio Aguero, which is why he hasn't stayed at Manchester City for me, which is why they probably decided to let him go. It's time to move on. They need someone more reliable in that position, especially with the stat squad that they have. They need to make sure they have enough spaces for someone who's going to be a bit more reliable. It's time moved on. It's time to go. You know what I mean? So he does need to stay fit. And if he does play, he will score goals. It's Aguero. He always scores goals when he plays. One of the best strikers to ever play in the Premier League. Check it, bro. Lacker and Odegaard have been trending all day. This, you know what? I've been so focused on transfers. I haven't even looked at the trending part of the page. Just having a look at Fabrizio Romano. Speaking on the transfer window, almost perfect. What would you rate yours out of 10 people? Let me know for Manchester United. For me, Manchester United's window out of 10 is it's number 7, like CR7. It is a 7. Varane, top centre-back being brought in. What you needed. Sancho, who you needed as well. You needed someone on that right or a winger that could play on the right. I think he'll probably be better off on the left, Jadon Sancho. Struggled against Wolves, though, had a poor game, but it's going to take him a while to adapt to Ollie's free-flowing system, that freestyle. But yeah, Sancho, Varane, Ronaldo. Can you really go anything? Can you really say anything much more on that? Guarantee goals. 30 goals this season minimum, as long as he stays fit. So it's all gravy there. 7 out of 10. CDM would have made it a 10 out of 10 for me. Man United fans, let me know how your thoughts have been on this transfer window. Breaking, here we go. Liverpool in talks to sign Alex Hunter. Personal terms agreed. Here we go. All right, Fadsley, or shall I say Fabrizio? Alex Hunter, this ain't FIFA. This isn't The Journey. Did you even? You must have played The Journey. Come on, I've never played it. Biscuits is overrated. All right, okay. This is Ed talking here. Ed's told you to say that one. Busquets is definitely not overrated. Can people tell Tish that is not the case? Morgan White to Blades. Okay, so Morgan Gibbs White, sorry. Has he gone to Sheffield United? I was getting confused then. Let me have a look at that one, Ian. Thank you for bringing that up. Gibbs White. Here we go. Having a look on Twitter right now. Yes, he has. 7 minutes ago, it has been confirmed. Let me share this. I can't play the sound because, copyright and them thing there. But yes, Gibbs White has joined. Okay, that's interesting. I was talking about Gibbs White the other day, actually. So yeah, here it is. Excited to join Sheffield United, a season-long loan. Looking forward to meeting my teammates. He scored in the Carabao Cup for you guys against Nottingham Forest. He has been highly rated ever since he has made his first team appearance at the Wolves. Hasn't quite kicked on as yet or fulfilled or come close to fulfilling that potential. So for me, I think he's a quality footballer, technical ability. You can't question it. Very skillful. He has an eye for a pass, an eye for a goal, which you've seen at Swansea. And at that level, he was killing it at Swansea until you brought him back I'm not sure that you're a Wolves fan, but yeah, until Wolves brought him back in January out of necessity, given the injuries in the squad. For me, Gibbs White, it's time for him to kick on. It's going to be an important loan here. If he doesn't work out how Wolves want it to be, you might have to cut your losses and move on and try and get some money for him. If he does impress, then he's got an opportunity to make it through and play. What's happened to Vitinha, by the way? Vitinha's not returned back, has he? Or has he? Let me know. Because he was quite highly rated and he was on loan at you guys. I'm United. Are you a United fan? Can't believe we didn't even look at Basuma or even get Anguissa from Fulham. Always rate these two. Yeah, Basuma and Anguissa, they are very good, very progressive, skillful dribblers as well, very technically gifted. athletes who can break down play, who can get around the pitch, very mobile, but also they've got the passing range. So yeah, I do rate those two quite a lot as well. Basuma more than Anguissa. Anguissa played, I thought he was a decent player at Fulham. I think it may be more to do with mentality, with those things. He has moved. Where did he move to? He went on loan, didn't he? If I'm not wrong. He went on loan. Was it Napoli? I think it was Napoli. How high is your PC screen? It's looking... Basically, Fadsley, I'm using my TV monitor in it. And that's what I'm using as my second monitor. It's my TV screen, which is on the wall. So, yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm looking up up the sky. I should be sat here, really, and then I'll be able to... I do need to get a monitor. I do have another monitor here, which is just this iPad here, so that I just use for notes and those things. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the comments so far. I haven't even been able to move on to my next part, but I don't mind this. Tish Ed, that's a dodgy opinion. Tell me about it. The Busquets. Yeah, come on. Busquets is class. One of the best sixes to ever play the game. Come on. I'm surprised Wolves didn't go for Nuno Mensch, or that's it, Nuno Mensch. That's what the Portuguese. That's how you meant to pronounce it in a Portuguese accent. But just so I don't offend anyone, Nuno Mendes from Sporting. Yes, Nuno Mendes. Thanks for bringing that up. He has gone to PSG. Yeah, Man City were linked with him at the start of the window. The fact that he has gone to PSG now, it just adds to their terrific transfer window. They needed a left back. They were playing Abdou Diallo there, who was a centre back out on the left. Now they've got a young, progressive talent, someone who's highly rated in the Portuguese squad as well, a future Portuguese left back. They're just killing it this season. PSG, can't believe that's happened. Anything is better than Fred at this point. Maybe not Xhaka. Fadsley, I think, who would you prefer, Fred or Xhaka? They're very two different midfielders. Fred is much more combative, yeah, tenacious, not as good on the ball as Xhaka, but not as... I don't think he's more of a liability than Xhaka, though. Xhaka is more of a liability. I do like that way. Do you like what you're saying? No, it's a good point. Have to say that this is such a refreshing change from the fan channels like United Stand and AFTV. Thank you, Know-How. I do appreciate that. Thank you for your kind words. That is what I do try to do. I'm just trying to make this inclusive for all football fans, bring knowledge, balance. You know, I could just come with my Arsenal chest and just say, no, United terrible, or, you know, or just constantly talk about Arsenal. But I watch too much football for that. And I don't feel that some of these channels... United Stand's a bit different because they do involve the community quite a lot. I guess AFTV do, but I like to really hear other people's opinions, and that's where I feel like I can grow, and sharing these things, and you know, it gives me a different understanding of the game, and having these types of debates. It's a good, like, entertaining factor. I spent a lot of time on YouTube anyway watching these types of channels. Both United Stand and AFTV. So I thought, you know what, why not create this and get everyone else involved, and really want to hear their opinions, whether it's through watch-alongs, transfers, who's had the best transfer window, etc., what's the best transfer. I'm going to pose a few questions for you guys coming soon. And Gisa signed a new deal, but then went straight back on loan to Italy. That's interesting. He signed a new deal with Fulham. Was that to more retain his value, or are they actually looking to keep him? And when they get promoted back into the Premier League, will Marco Silva, does he really rate him, but realises that he's too good for the Championship, or I don't know, or did he want to move? For me, I would think that's more to retain his value, as they would probably be able to sell him for a profit. They realise the player has a lot of potential. When he went on loan, when he initially signed for Fulham, where did he come from? He was from the French league. Was it Marseille? If I'm correct. He went to Marseille, struggled in his first season at Fulham, went on loan to Villarreal, smashed it there, had performed really well. Fulham got promoted, came back, had a decent-ish... He was in and out the side, but when he played, he looked good. So, yeah. Anything happening with William Carvalho? William Carvalho, the one that I've always heard, links with Arsenal every single summer. He was linked to a Premier League club, actually. Let me see who that is. That's another CDM that you could be thinking. So let me share this screen with you. On the 26th of August, Norwich are in talks with Real Betis over the sign of international midfielder William Carvalho. I know that he was meant to be, I knew he was linked to a Premier League club. Doesn't look like that is happening. There's no updates on this one. Let me click on the latest. So yeah, Real Betis haven't, I don't know how reputable this is, but I've seen that page before. Real Betis have an agreement with Hector Bellerin. However, the Spanish side have to convince William Carvalho to join Fulham in order to complete the move. Okay, interesting. Daniel Farke did not reveal if Norwich were close to signing any more players this week, with them having links to William Carvalho. So it could be Fulham, could be Norwich. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to have a look on that one on Transfer Markt for you as well. We may as well do that. Let's spend this time having a look. I'm really enjoying this stream so far, guys. Thank you for putting in all your questions and joining in. But before I go and do that, let me remove this from the screen and just jump into a few more of your comments. Fadsley is a red card merchant. Spot on. Fadsley, I just said you're a red card merchant. Apologies. Offensive if you think I'm comparing you to Granit Xhaka, but Xhaka is a red card magnet. Oh, I can't even get the words right. I'm reading it all wrong. Apologies, Fadsley. But yeah, he is a red card magnet. Loses his head all the time. Hot head. Schneester, that's his style of play, and that's how he tries to lead, like that aggressive style. I think that's Xhaka's way of showing that he cares. But for me, showing how you care is smashing the ball in the back of the net instead of smashing João Cancelo or Ashley Westwood or wherever. Inclusive, no bitterness, interaction, knowledge, infinitely better in my opinion. Know-how. So, yo, you're touching me in the heart there. You're going to make me cry. I'm joking. But thank you so much. Honestly, it does mean a lot. That's what I try to do. No bitterness towards anything. No bitterness towards my own club. No one others. No other club. No player. Like, for example, with Fadsley talking about Xhaka, I've never been his biggest fan, but I can see his qualities and his leadership skills. And when I watched him play live at West Brom against Arsenal, yes, it was against kids, but the guy was constantly talking. And I saw that and I was like, okay, I see why managers rate him. I see why managers consistently play him, whether it was Wenger, Unai Emery, or Mikel Arteta. Always played him, always found room. Mikel Emery, Unai Emery, yeah, made him captain. So you can see that, and he's probably one of our few leaders, even though he is a problem. And that's what I like to see. And the interaction is my most important part. That is what I want to do the most. Like, I will prioritize interaction over what I want to talk about here. I've got a few more things to talk about. I'm sure I'll have time. You know, I ain't going to wrap this up anytime soon. So yeah, just let me know. Keep firing the questions, everything. I've got questions for you too. So if you do run out, don't you worry. I've got questions for you. If you are on AFTV or United Stand, the only way your comments get read if you're able to do a super chat. Yeah, do you know what the thing is with those, Fadsley? Because they're such, like, they're so massive and it's so hard for you to get comments read because you get lost in like a sea of comments. You got trolls coming in as well who just say whatever. And like you started off and you came in with a bit of banter. Do you know what I mean? Talking about Arsenal getting promoted. I'm all about that. And then talking about Alex Hunter's going to Liverpool. It's like they don't really make time for that. But when they do have super chats, it's all, they're a business at the end of the day. So you can see why, and it is hard for them to spot as many comments. They don't think it's as interactive as well. Like with the United Stand, you hear a lot of Mark Goldbridge or whoever's on their opinions, rather as I want to hear yours just as much as I voice mine. I just chat a lot and I don't mind doing that, but I like interacting with people and getting to know people. Let me know where you're from. That's my one question. Where are you watching this from? Because I really want to. No, we've got 5 people viewing right here. And where are you from? Let me know, because it makes me excited when I see when people are coming from different parts of the world, different parts of the country. Know how, Fadsley, get that notification bell on. Every time I post a stream, I've got a video coming out tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it in a stream form or video format, but if I do it in a video format, or if you don't manage to catch it due to being busy or whatever you're doing at that time, get in the comments as well, because I will want to bring your comments into the next videos or the next stream, if you know what I mean. So if you've got any questions, if you've got any opinions, I'll bring them up and I'll be like, Fadsley spoke about this. I agree, I disagree. This is my reasons why. You tell me why you think this, etc. So yes, back to the football. One good signing Arsenal did easily. Lokonga, the guy looks class. For me, Jose Mourinho came with this one saying, it only takes 15 minutes for him to know whether a player is good or not. I like to go by that same rule. And in life, when I watched Lokonga play in the friendly, not even the Brentford game, it was a friendly against Watford. As soon as I saw that kid in the first 15 minutes, I was like, good signing. The way, for me, football is a lot to do with mentality, you see. And if you have that mentality where you can be confident to express yourself, which is why a lot of Arsenal fans like Guendouzi, because he did have a lot of confidence. With he didn't quite have the attitude to really make it a big club like Arsenal, but that may still change. He can still develop that. But what fans really look at and really admire from a player is their confidence, their willingness to drive, and that is just from the mentality point of view. When you look at Lokonga's physical and technical attributes, it just makes him even better. Much more mobile than your likes of Granit Xhaka. Can beat the press through his dribbling. Always tries to pass forward, and that also links him in the mentality for me. That always thinking forward, always trying to attack, and that's what Arsenal want. We don't want someone who can play it safe like a Mohamed El Nene. You see, like that's why I don't think he's at the Arsenal at the level that's required at Arsenal. Nowhere near the first team as a starter. Could be a squad player, has the wages to be a squad player, and could come in to like shore up a midfield in big games. Whereas he played it at Manchester United last season, him and Partey had a good game in midfield. Partey was the more progressive and more expansive midfielder, and then you got Mohamed El Nene, who runs a lot and he works hard and has a good attitude for the team. But Lokonga has the technical attributes to go for it as well. At such a young age, leadership as well. Let's not forget, he's been the captain of Anderlecht, where Vincent Kompany's the manager, who's one of the best leaders to play in the Premier League, one of the best captains to play. Yeah, one of the most, probably, arguably, Manchester City's most successful player, best player. People will probably say Aguero, but I'm a defender as well, so I would join the Defenders Union and say Vincent Kompany very disrespected. If you do just instantly go for Aguero, but Aguero has that moment, doesn't he? The Aguero. So yeah, I can understand that. Has Matt Ryan gone back to Brighton? No, Matt Ryan has actually gone to Real Sociedad, and just to confirm that here, I will get that up for you on Transfer Marked. How do you search? Oh, here we go. Matt Ryan. I'm getting that for you, making sure I'm searching in the right area. Here we go. And then I'll share the screen for you right now. Matt Ryan has actually gone to Real Sociedad. So he was on loan at Arsenal. This is another thing a lot of Arsenal fans were complaining, saying, you got Matt Ryan in on loan. I thought you was going to sign him because we got him on loan, but then his contract expired with Brighton, you see. So we decided not to sign him. Mikel Arteta and Arsenal wanted a homegrown goalkeeper. So that was heartbreaking. Well, not heartbreaking, that's a bit too far. But yeah, it was a bit gutting really, because when he did come in, he looked decent and he looks like a good backup goalkeeper, whether it's to Leno or Onana. And I wouldn't mind him playing. If we did sign Onana, selling Leno, I wouldn't mind him deputising until Onana is ready to play. So yeah, he's at Real Sociedad, as you can see right there. Let me zoom that right in for you. There you go. Real Sociedad, so that you can see. They signed him. It was on a free as well, I believe. Yes, they paid a fee. Okay, no, they didn't pay a fee. Question mark. I think it was on a free. His contract did run out at Brighton. So yeah. Droitwich. Know-how. Big shout from Droitwich. Nice to see you. I was in Worcester with Ed and T-shirt. I'm just next door away from you. Oh, what? Oh, really? Okay, then. Where is that, Fadsley? Sapning. Well, what's happening, Hayden? Nice to see you, man. Thank you for joining. What's your thoughts, Hayden? Renato Sanchez looking like that's failed and that's not happening anymore. I will go into that as well in more detail. The Renato Sanchez not happening, which was getting a lot of Wolves fans excited last night when that news did break out. Anderlecht are a factory, exactly. They are produce so much talent. Who else has come from there? Lukaku. Am I missing anyone? Lukaku, Company came from there as well. Lokonga, of course. Doku's came from there, who played well for Belgium at the Euros. Whew, brilliant. Interestingly, El Nene was like a new signing last year. Who do you think will be in the same mould this year? A lone player coming back and smashing it. So, El Nene, yes, when we brought him back, because after he came back from his loan from Besiktas, it was interesting. He did play a lot of games and he played a lot more minutes and he stayed when Arsenal fans thought, oh yeah, he's definitely off. He's not coming back. It's Tielemans as well. Sorry, I saw that one there. Tielemans, another one who came. But back to this one. Who do you think will be in the same mould this year? I think, do you know who that could be? Kolasinac. I know, I don't like it. I don't like the sound of that. But it looks like Kolasinac, who was meant to be going to Turkey at Fenerbahce, who was meant to be going there, has ended up staying. And he played the last game against Man City. He played against West Brom. Everybody understand that because, like, you know, trying to change up the squad, probably his last game, you know, say, couldn't give the fans a clap and stuff. But you play him in the hardest away game of the season at the Etihad, or one of the hardest away games, alongside Anfield, Stamford Bridge. Yeah. Old Trafford, yeah. So, yeah, I can't disrespect Man United too much. But, yeah, one of the hardest away games. Comes in from the cold, hasn't played all season, hasn't started. And then next thing you know, that's what's just so confusing at Arsenal at the moment. But Hayden, to do with Wolves, the Wolves fan, poor window, poor owners. Yeah, it's not worked out for Wolves in the end. And I might just have a look at what Wolves are saying, actually. What are all the signings you have made? Wolves. Here we go. Wolverhampton Wanderers. Let me share my screen with you now, just so I can get a gist of like all the signings that they did actually make. So obviously you brought Jose Sarr this summer as a replacement for Patricio. Not as good for me. He's better on the ball than Patricio. As we've seen, he's made quite a few mistakes. So a bit of a downgrade there. Mosquera, who's impressed in pre-season, so you can't be too mad at that. He has looked pretty good. He has been injured, though, alongside Willy Bolly. He picked up that thigh injury towards the end of pre-season, Mosquera. So that may turn out to be a good signing. He has had a lot of good reviews from Wolves. Brought back Ryan Nuri, who came on loan. You decided to keep him on a permanent. Good backup for the left-back position. Marcel's starting. Johnny, who's picked up another injury, unfortunately. Is he going to return back to the previous form that he was? We'll wait and see. But Ryan Nuri, a young, good left wing back, in my opinion. So that's a good sign. That's a decent signing. It's not. I can't say good. It's decent because he was already there. I can see why Wolves fans aren't too excited about that. Jordao, he's gone. Oscar Burr, he's gone. Trincao, that's a good signing on loan. And it looks like you probably will get him permanently. You got to take that one. And then you've signed a forward in the end in Hwang Hee-chan. I don't think it's as bad as you're making out. I understand it's a disappointing one. You didn't get this. You didn't get a centre mid, which you needed. You needed another centre mid for the rotation between Neves and Moutinho. Dendoncker doesn't seem quite good enough to be playing in that centre mid position. Probably play more games at centre back as well this season. So I understand the disappointment. It's kind of like Arsenal. You made signings, but you just didn't make enough in the end. So I do understand. But for me, it's not as bad as you're probably making out. But back to the comments, I need to catch up on a few. Know how about Tielemans? How did I forget Tielemans? Miguel Aziz. Oh, yes, Natty. Nice to see you, man. Miguel Aziz, he's gone to Portsmouth on loan. That was confirmed yesterday. I do rate Miguel Aziz. He does look like a good player. It's going to be interesting to see if he does develop well, build more into a first team player. That's what he needs to do. Get stronger, get used to the physical game in England. It would have been interesting to see if he would have got more minutes. It's a disappointment that we let him go, given our midfield is very light and Miguel Aziz is highly rated. He scored against Watford in pre-season. I haven't seen too much of him. I saw him come against in the Europa League, but that was against Dundalk, and even Balogun scored there. I mean, he's not quite ready for Arsenal yet. I think he probably should have went out on loan too. The fact that it looks like we're keeping Eddie Nketiah, more reason for him to go out on loan. Tierney looked tight this. What's that? Oh, okay, sorry, but he needs backup. Yeah, Tavares is that. Oh, tired. Okay, there we go. I see it now. Sorry. Tierney looked tired this year. He needs backup. Yeah, that's what Tavares is, personally, from what I've seen from Tavares. I know this quite sounds I'm quite being a pessimistic Arsenal fan, but I don't think he's quite ready yet either. And Kolasinac could be that backup, which baffles me because we sent Kolasinac out on loan when we had no left back. We didn't even have Tavares last season. We'd rather stick with Tierney, and then we ended up putting Granit Xhaka at left back, and ultimately that played a part in costing us reaching the final of the Europa League. So yeah, it's just one of them ones. But yeah, back up. Yeah, I got you in the end. But Hayden, we needed a CB, not signed one. Needed a CM, not signed one. I understand two positions that you needed to improve in. As an Arsenal fan, I can say the same. We got that right back, but the Tomiyasu's actually played more as a centre back in his career than a right back. He's only 22, so he's quite young. So he has played at right back though. So I wanted someone who was more of an out and out, who could provide that guaranteed attacking threat, who's a bit more renowned as a right back, the likes of Riedel Baku, who's at Wolfsburg. You got Mazraoui, who's at Ajax. You got Max Aarons, if you want to look locally in England, instead of shelling out how much ever we did on Aaron Ramsdale, just getting Max Aarons in as a right back instead. I'd have been happy with that. Tariq Lamptey, bit more of a riskier one, given his injuries. And yeah, and Arsenal's lack of aerial ability at the back. I don't think Max Aarons isn't that great in the air, but Tariq Lamptey's even worse. So we'd have really struggled from set pieces there, and we are susceptible already. Let me get this panic buy off the screen. I don't mean to have that anymore. But yeah, Jimenez coming back from injury as good as a new signing. He would start slowly getting back to it. I feel he wasn't as good against Wolves. I think Varane did have him in his pocket, by the way. But, Varane's going to do that to a lot of strikers this season. And with Jimenez slowly getting back to his form, my brother-in-law, he said that he thought that Jimenez had a good game. Fair play to him. He did look like he had a decent game in my opinion. He did have an all right game. I remember at the start, though, he was giving the ball away quite a lot. And I was like, okay, Jimenez doesn't usually do that. He's technically sound, protects the ball very well. So, yeah, he ain't the same as pre-injury. So, yeah, Hayden's noticing them signs as well. But know how he's saying, give him time. I do think you are both right. And that's the diplomatic answer to go for. But know how I do lean towards yours quite a bit more. You do need to give him time, Hayden. You do. It is frustrating given your issues in front of goal, and you have performed better than Arsenal. There is a lot more to look onto and be happy about. Will the goals start flooding in from nowhere? Fabio Silva, is he going to get the right game time? Hwang Chan, he's going to have to hit the ground running as well as soon as the international break finishes. See if Trincao can feed him and keeping Traore is great. Exactly. The fact that you've kept up Adama Traore with the interest surrounding him this summer, with Spurs sniffing around, wanting him back, it's good. It's like a new signing, as Arsene Wenger would say, and know-how as well. So yeah, it is like a new signing. But as Hayden says, we don't have time, need goals now, not in January. I see where you're coming from, Hayden. You do need those goals. You do have to give it a bit of time, though. It's a brand new system. I know the players that you do have there up front aren't really scoring those goals and aren't finishing their chances. Once it does for Jimenez, it's one of them. He needs one of them. He needs a Jack Grealish type of goal where it's smacked off of his knee and flies in, and then the goals could start rolling. Then you never know. Same with Fabio Silva and Hwang Chan. You've got three strikers there. Risky. Who would you have signed, Hayden? Because I don't think there is a plethora of strikers out there in the market. I don't think there's not many. Harry Kane obviously couldn't end up going. Lewandowski, they're the world-class players. But in the Premier League, is them guaranteed? Would you have taken Martial from Manchester United, for example? Maybe. That seems like a decent one that could have happened if you'd have put the right bid or offer on the table. Probably couldn't afford his wages, though, given that Man United do offer quite big wages. But Tavares is a little green. Yeah, exactly. He still needs to grow. He's very raw from what I've seen from him. He's very good going forward, but going that way, and in the Premier League, you will get exposed for that. Ronaldo, yeah, true. Portuguese. You saw the Portuguese flag flying outside the mall, and you was probably there as well. You probably saw it. So yeah, obviously you're joking. I know that. But yes, before I wrap up this video, though, I've still got a few more things to go through. I want to talk about the top deals throughout the window that has happened so far. Has there been any news first? Before I carry on, I'm going to have a look if there has been any news that I may have missed out on. Whilst this is happening, you know, the place to go, Twitter, Fabrizio Romano. If you guys have anything else, please break it into the chat. Fabrizio Romano, let me share this on my screen right about now. Here we go. Let's give the page a quick refresh too. So, that's not... So, PSG, so that's about Nuno Mendes. Sorry, I've been watching too much Derek Ray. Antoine Griezmann has a full agreement on personal terms with Atletico Madrid, and it's now a matter of last details between Atleti and Barca to complete the deal. Final stages. Barca are progressing in talks to sign Luke de Jong from Sevilla. Wow, let me click on that and make it bigger for you guys. Who thinks that? For me, it's pretty obvious. Atletico Madrid have come way better out of that deal. How much did they pay for him? Barcelona, 110 million, was it? It was over 100 million. I know that for sure. And Atleti are just going to get him back for probably free or for minimal transfer fee, because I know that Barcelona just need him off the wage books, and getting Luke de Jong as a replacement. Atletico Madrid, they are favourites to win the league again this season, given the signings that they have made and given the players that they have kept. They've moved on. Saul brought in Rodrigo de Paul, who had a brilliant Copa America, was a key player in Argentina's Copa America win, by the way. I know everyone's talking about Messi, and Messi was but Messi's a Messi. Messi's Messi at the end of the day. But yeah, what was this? Yes, I don't think João Felix going the other way. I don't know. That's not happening. Fabrizio Romano spoke about that as well. That did pop up on my screen whilst we was doing the stream. So Luis Diaz he's not going to Everton, so that may stipper the Rodriguez move, the James Rodriguez. Cavani confirms he's staying. Yes, I mean, he said that all day, but I'm trying to find this now. To do with João Felix. That would be a good move for Barcelona, I think, if they got João Felix the other way. So, yes, Kylian Mbappe, 200. Oh, that's not João Felix. I did see something about João Felix. Okay, here it is. Here's the tweet. Yeah. Talks ongoing between Atletico Madrid. What did I just say then? Atletico Madrid. Sorry, I need to get a drink. For Antoine Griezmann comeback. No João Felix or any other player involved. No Dani Olmo for Barcelona either. Dani Olmo not looking like he's going back to the club where he started. So yes, that's news there for no João Felix going the other way. And I do agree with you here. Barcelona are a sinking ship. Definitely. They have started the season off quite well, though, in terms of results. Well, actually, I can't really say that. Let me have a look at that as well. I've watched their first game. They won it, 5-2, where Braithwaite scored. Apologies for that. You know, I've always got a bottle of water on the stream. I'm always having a sip. Burnley, sorry, I didn't mean to get to that, but who's had the best transfer window? I will get to that one. Speaking of, but Burnley had their best windows in years. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. They signed Maxwell Cornet, so they signed someone, and that's already their best window. But back to what Natty's saying, who's had the best transfer window? In England, Manchester United. I'm going to say Manchester United. No, actually, Who's had a best window? It's difficult because Manchester United have had a top window, but they've missed out on that CDM. Chelsea bringing Lukaku back, brought the goals in. Saul Niguez, who's come in as well. Who else have they signed? Have they signed anyone else that I'm missing? I don't think so. Not off the top of my head. But Saul Niguez and Lukaku. I'm going to go with Manchester United for bringing back Cristiano Ronaldo. I think they have had the best transfer window. But outside of United, Brighton, I know you're on about that Cucurella baller. That was one of my signings of the window as well. Bringing in a left wing back is what they needed. So, yeah, I do agree. Know-how saying Chelsea. Hayden, what are you saying, Folsom? Because they haven't spent anything. Well, outside the big guns, definitely. But United overall, definitely. Yeah, I'd say United have had the best window overall. But Brighton, in Europe, it's got to be PSG. No one can get close to PSG. Chelsea are complete. No other team is. That's true. But in terms of what we've seen, how much United squad has improved, I know it sounds a bit crazy because they did finish second last season, but the fact that they've brought in a defender, a centre back in Varane, which is what they needed, and it makes it. Do you know what? It's a good debate because I'm thinking about it now. I keep umming and ahhing between Chelsea and Man United. Yes, PSG's been ridiculous. Yeah, they've won the transfer window by far. Like, even in terms of value for money and those things, like free signing Donnarumma, Sergio Ramos, Gini Wijnaldum, Hakimi for 60 million, and then Lionel Messi, of course, and then also signing Nuno Mendes as well. Yeah, joke of a summer that is for, like, they've had the best transfer window of probably ever, in my opinion. Like, they've had the best transfer window of any team. But Mendes said exactly one of the highest rated fullbacks coming up out of Portugal, already a Portuguese international, Sporting Lisbon. Manchester City have been looking at him for ages. They just weren't willing to pay the money. You know, Manchester City don't like to move reckless with their money and with who they spend it on, even though they spent 100 million on Grealish. But yeah, that'll probably turn out to be a good signing eventually. But yeah, Nuno Mendes going there as well. And what's Know-how saying? I'd say Varane was the most necessary signing of the window. Yeah, I'll probably argue that and flip it back to you and say Lukaku for Chelsea. So, yeah. But it's a very good question there, Natty, man. Who's had the best window? Because you've got Aston Villa as well. They've had a good window. No, I'm joking. Arsenal have had a good window. We'll wait and see. I don't think you can say that now that they've had a good window. Definitely not. Like, because they've not improved their first team. Only time will tell, but I don't think that we will come out as one of having the best windows at all. Even though we spent the most money. Who else has had a good window? You've had Aston Villa. I will go through everyone else's transfers. Who's had the worst? You could argue Arsenal for that one, and that is what you're saying. There you go. You could argue that 80 million on Ben White and Ramsdale, who do not improve the first team. And we spent over 80 million on that. When you see Man United have spent 70 million on Sancho, yeah, but he improves their first 11. But then you've got Varane and Ronaldo that cost less, 50 million? Yeah, joke. It's an absolute joke. But yeah, Arsenal, you could say Arsenal have had the worst, but let me go back to Fadsley here. Griezmann going back to Atletico Madrid. He knows that Barcelona is finished. They can't pay his wages, man. That's the thing. Like, Barcelona haven't actually started that badly, but they can't afford to keep him at the club given the circumstances that they're in. They are finished in that sense, but on the pitch, they haven't actually been that bad. Liverpool, Know-how saying Liverpool only signing Ibrahim Konate in his transfer window. Liverpool fans are disappointed. They thought that they needed a striker, a midfielder to replace, a striker to help, an attack. Well, not a striker, an attacker. So a winger, an inside forward of the likes of Salah, Mane, or someone to come in for Firmino, a centre mid to replace Wijnaldum, and they haven't sorted that out. So you could argue Liverpool, because at least Arsenal have tried to sort these positions out. Have they sorted them out with the right players? No. Time will tell, but right now the jury's out. So yeah. Looks like you play FPL 2. In terms of the FPL, who should I go for in between Trincao and Adama? Fadsley, your top man. you need to join the FPL League. It is in the description below. The code is in there. I have added it into this description. So yes, join my FPL League to eat talks. For me, out of that one, I'm saying Adama. Do you know why? Because Adama will get into those dangerous positions more and he will create more chances. And Wolves will create more chances through Adama. Trincao seems to have a better finish. Well, we haven't seen anything yet. But at least he got his shot on target, but it was a brilliant block by Wan-Bissaka to stop it from being 1-0. So I would go for Adama. Know-how. So know-how again saying, you're done when you're promoting. Exactly. Is that what West Ham have been doing? Liverpool. Oh, yeah, Jordan Henderson. That's it. Yeah, Jordan Henderson. So I remember Arsenal were doing those type of things not too long ago. Saying like a new signing. Yeah, whatever. But yeah. How you didn't sign Buendia and Tammy, I don't know. I think in terms of Tammy, I agree with you. I think Tammy would have definitely done the job at Arsenal. But Ødegaard and Buendia, right now, and it could get proven because, there is plus sides on both of them. Buendia, Ødegaard, I think right now I'd have rather taken Ødegaard, right now at this moment in time. I think what Arsenal require from that position, and Buendia does provide as well, creativity. And you saw his numbers at Norwich and he's killing it in the Championship. What I saw at Ødegaard as well, not from that game against Man City because Arteta used him completely wrong there. He looked way too lightweight. No way. Is he ready? He can't play in that number. Like, he can't play in a 2 in midfield, basically, next to Xhaka as well. Yeah. That midfield lacked a lot of athleticism, but that's an Arteta mistake there. But for me, we'll have this discussion at the end of the season about Buendia. But Tammy Abraham, I do agree with that one. How did we not get him? Not only once, but twice. Yes, exactly. West Ham, they've had a great window. Yes, Zuma, Krau and Vlasic. Zuma especially adds more defensive stability in the back. He adds weight. He's so strong defensively, not as good on the ball, but that's not required from a David Moyes centre-back. Krau, who's another centre defensive midfielder who can play it. He's a very versatile one. Czech Republic international, played in the Champions League for Spartak Moscow and at Sparta Prague as well. That's where he was at before. And Vlasic, who was at CSK. They've sorted out a centre-back, a CDM, and an attacking midfielder. And that is what they needed. They need that squad depth so that they can compete in Europe and keep up their challenge and how they've started the Premier League so well. That front four, by the way, of West Ham look dangerous. If speaking of FPL, Fadsley, go put one of them in your team. I've got Ben Rama in mine. Will you be putting any FM or FIFA gameplay at any point? You know what? That's something I want. Yes, I love that one. Tariq plays. Do you know what? I will do that because I do play both. I do play both of them. I do play FM and FIFA. It's Ed who's actually got me into FM and FIFA. I am getting that one when it comes as well. So yes, I will be putting gameplay up exactly. If the demand's there, I will do it. So yeah, Natty again, thank you. Loving the content, bro. You grow fast. Keep it up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. I appreciate you jumping in, giving your opinions. When I see you, you go going mad. Nah, man, I thought you knew ball, etc. Nah, but yeah, I love it, man. I love sharing these opinions about, and that's what the most important thing is, learning. Like, you've thrown in so much, to do with the transfers. I forgot about West Ham, forgot about Brighton. Know how, once again, you as well. Fadsley, it's nice to have you. Hayden, thank you for everyone watching. Even if you're watching and you're not commenting, I really do appreciate it. And just listening to me ramble on. You don't want the FIFA smoke. Hayden, he's very good at FIFA, by the way. Did you smash me? Nah. You beat me 1-0, but it was hard. So yeah, last time we played, you beat me 1-0. That was the day that Italy did beat England in the final. We played that on the big screen. So yeah. Chat footy as you play. Exactly. That's what I want to do. That's what this is. I'm chatting football whilst chatting to you guys, whilst hearing your opinions. Also, so that Natty, you asked one of the questions, which was who's had the best transfer, who's had the best summer, who is the best signing of the window. I'm going to ask you that. That's going to be my departing question. And then I'll give you an update on what's to come for the rest of this week. who's the best signing of this season's summer transfer window? Whether you can, sorry, I've got some wind. Sorry, whether you want to discuss that through best value for money, best signing in general, best or the one that's going to have the biggest impact. Obviously, you've got the two, Ronaldo and Messi. They're going to dominate that one. For me, Messi, because I think that he I don't know, man. PSG, they don't actually look that good, but Messi's still yet to really play and start, and they really yet to have that team built and ready yet. It is just the start of the season. We've seen many teams start slow. Manchester City started slow last season, ended up winning the league and storming away with it. Man United started very slowly last season. They was in 16th place at this point. That's the only thing as an Arsenal fan that I'm holding on to. That, Oli last season lost 6-1 to Spurs. Just about beat Brighton when they should have lost to Crystal Palace. So that's obviously our squad's nowhere near as good as what Man United's was even last season. So yeah, what is your best signing of the window? Let me know before I go. I'm saying Lionel Messi. All the best, bro. All the best. Oh, sorry, I put bro there. All the best. Look forward to the next. Thank you for joining, Kez. Thank you for joining through YouTube as well. PSG don't need Messi. Unpopular opinion. Yes, know-how. They don't need him. But when it's like, can you say the same with Ronaldo and Manchester United? Manchester United did not need Ronaldo. But Messi or Ronaldo, the clubs that they went to, they weren't a necessity. But the levels that they can require and bring the team up to, it kind of surmounts that and can try and the standards, the whole buzz and the merchandise and everything that gets brought with the likes of Ronaldo and Messi. I think that's what will prove as well. I know that doesn't really matter in terms of on the pitch, in terms of the standards that will be brought up. Yeah, I think that Messi will more likely win PSG the Champions League than Ronaldo will win Manchester United the Premier League or Champions League. But yeah, Varane, good shout. This is what Man United needed. World-class centre-back being brought into the Premier League. And it could, if they did sign that CDM, it would completely transform how they would play. They wouldn't have to play the McTominay and Fred anymore if they just had Varane and even a Basuma. Ndidi, them types of players. Tchouameni, as you was it you said that know-how? Someone said Tchouameni. So yeah. No, we did. Cavani. Okay, Cavani plays 70% of our games, so we need someone to play 100%. Good point. Cavani misses out a lot of injuries. Yeah, but Greenwood this season, he would play a lot of games. He would play a lot of games up front. 3 goals in 3. Mason Greenwood, my favourite player outside of Arsenal, by the way. My favourite English player. I always rave about him. The one thing I always say, the best, most gifted player to come out of England, in my opinion. He will be one of the most gifted players, the best striker that we do have, and technically the best striker we have. And I think he'll be one of the best players to ever come out of England. Mason Greenwood's a big shout. We've got the likes of Rooney, Shearer, Lineker, Gascoigne, Kane, I guess you could say. Yeah, you could say Kane. But yeah, I do think that Mason Greenwood will be one of them. Camavinga could be generational for Real Madrid. Yes, if he gets the provided game time. We see with a lot of youngsters that Real Madrid do sign, they don't necessarily have the game time required. But because of that age in midfield that Real Madrid do have, Modric, Kroos, Casemiro, he will play as more as... Would he play as the 6? He's more of a 6/8, so someone that usually plays in a double pivot can play in the 6. Going to be interesting to see how he does. He can play anywhere, really. Camavinga is a quality midfielder, and that's a very good signing for Real Madrid, in my opinion. But yes, I think that's everything that I wanted to do in this video. Top international deals, we spoke about that as well. Some of the top deals that we saw, like you've just brought up there, Camavinga. Who else? Ramos, Real Madrid, Barcelona. We've talked about the Barcelona necessarily about the mess that they're making. And yes, who's the best team to come out of the best signing? You've said Varane. Thank you for that know-how. If you have your best signing, put it in the comments below. We've just reached an hour and a half in this stream. Thank you to everyone who has joined. I really do appreciate the comments that you've put in, the chat, the discussions, the debates. I look forward to having way more with you soon. Just to let you know, before I go, I will be releasing 2 videos this week. There will be a video coming on Thursday, and that is the day after tomorrow. Yeah, that wasn't what I was going to say. But it is one position your club should have addressed this summer. So I'm going to be going through all the Premier League clubs. And if your club's not in the Premier League, if you're from a different country and you're watching it and you want me to give your club, please put it down in the comments. Or if you're in the Championship, so if we've got West Brom fans here, any Blues fans, anything like that, I will do my due diligence and do my research into that, because I just love football, you see. And yes, I will look at it. I'll look at their squad. I'll look at the players they got. I'll look at the profile of players, of the ones that I don't genuinely know. And yeah, I'll listen. I'll have a look at some of your fans. And if you have that club, message me as well. Message me your opinions. I'll even incorporate them. I'll add a little screenshot into that video. And also the last one, this weekend on Saturday or Sunday, I will release on my social media. If you haven't got my social media, it should be in the description below as well. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, if my Facebook page is in there, or Snapchat, either one, and then we can talk more football there. That's also in the description. But the final one, and I've spent so long saying this, it is the Premier League prediction table, and that is coming this weekend. My final prediction table, who I think what teams will finish where, given that the transfer window is now shut. Go check, wait on that. Post notifications on, and to stay for more videos. I'm losing it. Stay for more videos. So stay tuned for more videos. Also, leave a like if you have liked this video. Enjoy. I'm losing it. You can tell it's coming towards the end. I'm muddling all my words. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. Thank you to everyone already. I'm an Ajax fan from boyhood. I will definitely have a look at Ajax. They do have some interesting players. You got Anthony there. You got David Neres, who's still there. Tadic. Get Van der Beek back. Who have you signed actually? Before I go, you know what? For that question, I'm gonna have a look at Ajax's transfer window on here. I'll share the screen with you. I'll have a look at the squad that they do have. So we have Ajax Amsterdam. I'm going to share the screen with you right about now. Here we go. Let's have a look at Ajax. Look at all them trophies. Onana yet still come back. I'd love him at Arsenal. Honestly, I would. Let me zoom in as well for you. Apologies. Don't know who that is. Jay Courtier, but one of your goalkeepers who was your goalkeeper last season, Shreppen. Is it Shrepp? I can't say his name. He's gone to Brighton. That's a good goalkeeper. Yeah, Lisandro Martinez. So you've kept a lot of your players from the league winning. Ryan Gravenberch, he's still there. That's a good player. That's one of the upcoming talents throughout Europe. One of the best young talents to come. You got Steven Berghaus. That's a good signing from Feyenoord. Mohamed Darami, he's very quick, very pacey. Danilo, I can't really give you too much on that one. I've not seen him. But yeah, it looks like you have had that Steven Berghaus for 5 million. Darami for just over 10 million. Well, just under 11, shall I say. Lang, who's gone. Marin, who's gone to Italy. Lassina Traore, that's it. Sherpen, that's the one that's went to Brighton. So yeah, I will do one on them as well for you know how. I do appreciate that. And then let me see what you said there. We've got Charlie Stepford in our youth. Keep an eye out. Thank you, know how. I will make sure to keep an eye out for that one for Charlie Stepford. I will watch some videos, do some research on him. Thank you for that. But I'm going to wrap it up here, people. Thank you for joining once again. I hope you have a brilliant week, brilliant rest of the week. I will see you again on Thursday, whether that's for a video or stream. We'll see. I like doing these streams because I like really having this interaction. So I think I probably will do it as a stream. But once again, thank you. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week and peace.